Oh no, what Doc Green do?
Yo.
Yeah. This fruit, you niggas. Till Wingle. Let's go straight up in it. Pray God that I flinch him. Yeah. That's right, guys. It's how we know that God is real. He made it obvious through his creation and our reflections of godliness. It's not that simple to say people are just ignorant. They have knowledge buried that's deep down inside of them. Won't go admitting what they know, they push the truth down. But like a beach ball, the truth ain't something you could drown. All the effort to suppress it only wears them out. People suppress the truth in unrighteousness, fear, and doubt. They lie to self just to avoid what feels uncomfortable. Truth about God and also fear of judgment too. It's not just lying, it's believing in their own lie. Tell themselves I don't believe in God, their way show otherwise. To rationalize, they twist the evidence to fit their hate. For instance, twisting scriptures to convince themselves it's fake. And some will say that science proves there is no God, but really, that's using God's creation to run from him insincerely. They use logic to deny logic. They make truth claims to claim the truth is nonsense. It's an excuse game, they're locked in the subconscious. Ignore the obvious and make excuses to stay godless. This is self-deception. This is self-deception. No more self-awareness. No deep introspection. This is self-deception. This is self-deception. No more self-awareness. No deep introspection. Be aware that there are levels to awareness. People will not always be aware that they're aware of this. It can be subconscious, it feels safe not to admit. And other times they know they are suppressing what's legit. And over time this puts their spirit to sleep and numbs it. They forget God on purpose for fear of guilt and judgment. Because the evidence for God is clear, there's no excuse. Self-deception makes them guilty through truth they chose to refuse. It's like a mother who won't admit her son's a thief. She knows he can't be trusted, but she acts like he is sweet. She worries about him at home, but tells people he's fine. She noticed missing cash, but it hurts so much she lies. That kid will grow into an uncomfortable truth. Instead of dealing with him when he's young, she let him loose. She could have changed the outcome, but it's too late. Her son becomes a monster because of fear she didn't face. They use logic to deny logic. They make truth claims to claim the truth is nonsense. It's an excuse game, they're locked in the subconscious. Ignore the obvious and make excuses to stay godless. This is self-deception. This is self-deception. No more self-awareness. No deep introspection. This is self-deception. This is self-deception. No more self-awareness. No deep introspection. You use God's absolutes to deny God as the absolute. So you have no use to me, you're godless and you have no truth. The habits you exhibit and the traits that you collapse into stand as proof in spirit of your death because you have no fruits. The line between what you think and what you know is broken. Like Oedipus, you cling to denial because of lies you've chosen. Like King Lear, you despise true love for a lie that's spoken. So it's clear you're self-deceiving to hide your coping. It's become normal to deceive yourself about belief. Escapism is nothing new, but facing it sets cowards free. The power leaves you when you put up barriers of fable and disables overcoming that what's happening is painful. The fate you get is what you sow, and this you know. The seed you planted on this planet, plant it as you go. And they grow no matter how you feel about them. And if they're rotten, then you need to rip him out then. Self-deception seems to stem from trauma, but complex inspection leads to get you farther. In life some lessons hurt and times can get hard, but if you deceive yourself, you never leave the start. Just accept what you cannot change. Embrace what you need to make it. Don't hold on to a band-aid on an open wound. Don't abuse yourself no more cause you know the truth. Why would you lie to you? I don't get it. What good does denial do? Make you pathetic. Why not rationalize the truth to be a legend? Selective memory and biases with no proof. Confess it. You don't know, do you? He is risen. That you know you do. Indeed, he is risen. The hold on you keeps you twisted. The facts you overrule will lead you to forgiveness. Just practice some self-awareness and know you. The logically and be fearless to own you. Embrace discomfort. It will mold you. The ways that you've suffered. Now you surpass the old you. If you don't face that which oppresses you, it compresses you. Don't let it move you to belief unless it's true. Express the roots of your issues and then you'll step into a life of blessed truth. Correct yourself with every move. Self-deception seems to stem from you cannot change. It's what you need to make it. Make it through heaven's gates. Don't hold on to a bandit on an open wound. Don't abuse yourself no more, cause you know the truth. Why would you lie to you? What good does denial do? Make you pathetic. Why not rationalize the truth? To be a legend, selective memory and biases with no proof. Confess it, you don't know, do you? Heal what you need to make it through heaven's gates. Don't hold on to a bandit on an open wound. Don't abuse yourself no more, cause you know the truth. You use God's absolutes to deny God is the absolute. You use God's absolutes to deny God is the absolute. You use God's absolutes to deny God is the absolute. You use God's absolutes to deny God is the absolute. Snap out of it.
Imagine if we had this Jesus, we'd all be screwed. We'd have no salvation. Google video evidence of evolution stated clearly. Pretty sure there's a lot of prejudicial conjecture that goes into the theory of evolution. Like, you have to believe in uniformitarianism and disestablishmentarianism. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Why you bully God? Why you bully the God? Why you bully the God? They bully God. They're mean. They're mean to God. Why are you mean to God? Like, you hurt God.
Yo, Mars, can you hear me?
Hello, neighbor.
What's up, brother? Yo, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So how do you answer? Well, just to be clear, right? You believe in the triomni properties of God, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. How do you answer the? And I'm also assuming you believe in free will, correct?
Yes.
How do you answer that contradiction?
It's not a contradiction.
Do you want me to lay it out for you?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you already know the argument?
I have a video that I just posted, my newest video that goes into why that's not a contradiction.
Okay, well, let me just posit the argument for you. Because it may be not the one you're arguing against, yada, 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 just to be, like, clear. So obviously, you believe that God is all-knowing, correct?
Yeah.
So God knows exactly what's going to happen in this universe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And you believe that God is all-powerful?
Mm-hmm.
So God had the ability to choose from multiple universes and chose this one? Because God had the ability to build any universe he wanted, but he decided to build this one.
Well, God has a plan. I'll say that.
Yeah, and that plan is always going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we agree that God could build any possible universe, any logically possible universe. We also believe that
I don't agree to
God,
that. I don't agree to that.
you don't believe that God can create any logically possible universe.
How would you know that?
Huh? Well, it's in the omnipotence property.
Does it say that in the Bible that God can create any logical
Isaiah
possible
50,
universe?
Isaiah 55:11. He can speak it into existence. What?
Yeah, I don't think the Bible says God can create any logical possible universe. I don't.
God can create anything. His word is right. Again, that's Isaiah 55:11. I can pull up the exact verse in NIV if you'd like.
I'll ask the AI what the AI thinks.
ChatGPT, holy.
The Bible doesn't explicitly address whether God can create any logical possible universe. It emphasizes omnipotence.
Exactly, Kai, in the comments. That's why I said any logically possible universe.
No, it doesn't. The Bible doesn't say this.
Yeah, so like again, we're just gonna look at like verses like Isaiah 55:11, showing off his like omniscience property, right? I'm not his omniscience, sorry, his
The
omnipotence.
Bible focuses on the actual universe. It doesn't speculate on like hypothetical universes.
Well, yeah,
So,
but okay,
you can't really like say God could create any logical possible. Because like, how would you know that, right? You're just making that up.
so wait, just to be clear, right?
Okay.
I just want to be like absolutely clear. You do believe in the omnipotence property of God, correct?
Sure. Yep.
Omnipotence meaning all powerful.
Maximally powerful.
Maximally powerful. Okay, how are we catching out maximally powerful?
I don't really get into definitions.
Well, then you're like if you're gonna posit something and then not like provide a definition, I have no reason to take the claim.
Okay, well, I mean, you can go to hell. That's your choice.
I mean, like your job is to make disciples, correct?
Why do you want to go to hell?
Huh?
Why do you want to go to hell?
Yeah, I just don't take it to be the case that I have a compelling reason to believe in God due to this contradiction.
Oh, so do you take your reason to be self-validating?
Yeah, no. Whenever you mean self-validating, what do you mean by that?
Well, you want to play definition games, or I don't really want to play the definition game, so I'll just move on if that's what you want.
I mean, I'm not like playing a definitions grade.
You're playing games. Right? You're playing games.
I'm not.
Your reasoning
I'm asking like.
Oh no.
I'm asking like basic questions to ask.
No,
you're playing. You're playing
games. Here. I'm not interested in your games. Is your reasoning self-validating?
Self-validating.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by self-validating, brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you well, but you're going to hell,
brother.
Welcome, neighbor.
Number 4.
Number 4. I mean, you're just sacrificing the life of a preborn baby for the right of a woman to choose. I guess you could say autonomy. The woman's autonomy should be like a false idol. So it's a ritual human sacrifice to the false idol.
For women to be able to vote.
What?
For women to be able to vote, they have to give up their fetus.
No.
I thought that's what you said.
We sacrifice the preborn baby. Are we talking about 4?
What do you get? Yeah, number 4. You said, yeah. Okay, so like Jesus was sacrificed. We used to sacrifice lambs. It's like it's a ritual to get something, right?
You sacrifice one thing for another thing.
Right. So I'm asking you, what are the babies being sacrificed for? And then you said for the women's
autonomy.
Choose. Yeah, so I'm saying like for women to be able to vote, like for women's suffrage, we have to like give up.
Are you being like purposefully ignorant? So no, have you ever heard of this idea?
I'm going to be purposefully more intellectual than you could ever.
Okay, are you familiar with this concept of like the woman's right to choose whether or not to carry the pregnancy? That's what we'd be talking about. Are you like this dense?
No, see, that's determined before, so you don't really understand what you're even saying. There
Okay.
is no
Yeah, I know. I'm not that
sacrifice.
smart, man, but it's like I sometimes people try to be dumb
You
as like a
don't.
strategy in a debate. So I just thought that's what you were doing because it's like
Well,
so
don't try to
blatantly
like.
out.
Don't
Okay.
try to tell other. Don't try to tell other people. You know, just try to do what you need to do for yourself. I'm telling my little boys this all the time. Focus on yourself. Stop worrying about everybody else. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing for yourself, buddy.
Uh, what does this have to do with anything? What are we talking about?
It has to do with you learning to grow up and accept
Okay.
people and other people's choices and like doing things that doesn't hurt you, right? So LGBTQ, for example, and can't really talk
It's
about it. This
it's
is
not a
TikTok.
topic for my
It's
life.
not on there, you know, because you can't really talk about it. What does the Bible say about it? You know, no, clearly.
Yeah, God. Seems like God doesn't like that.
Well, your definition of God doesn't like that.
My definition of God. God's not a definition. God
Yeah,
is the
God is.
necessary
Bro, you
being.
don't know that there's many
I don't
definitions of
even.
God?
So you don't even know what you're rejecting.
You know that there's many different ideas of God, right?
God is the necessary
Are
mind
you
that is the
serious?
ground of being.
You don't know that there's. Have you ever heard of
God is the
Allah?
necessary mind that is the ground of being.
Have you heard of Allah?
Let's not be. Let's just.
That's the God of Islam. Okay? There's
Can you make a
languages.
point? Do you have like an
The
argument or
point is
like?
that you're a fucking moron. Are we there
Okay.
yet?
Well,
Are we
I.
there yet?
Everyone knows that. That's
Well, then why
obvious.
don't you just give
That's just
this up
trivial.
and start learning to just
I
listen
am. I'm
and
trying to
shut
do
your
a
mouth?
Bible study. I'm doing
Get
Bible
out
study.
of the 2,000-year-old book of
I go to
ignorance and hate
I go to a
and read
adult Bible
something
study.
modern and real.
Dude, why can't
Read
I just live
something
my life the way?
relevant.
Why can't I live my
No,
life the
I'm
way I want to
telling you,
live it?
you
I thought you were
can.
talking about people
You
having
can.
choices, and now you're trying to tell me
You
how to live my
can.
life. You're acting
Get
kind of.
used to being called a
I'm getting.
moron then.
Are you North Korean? Because I'm getting
Get
North
used to being
Korean.
called a bigot then.
I'm getting North Korean vibes.
Okay.
I'm not a
Carry
bigot.
on, bigot. Yes, you are.
No.
Do you support LGBTQ marriage?
Do I support it? They can get married, sure.
Well,
I
then
don't
you
know if
don't
I would
support your Bible.
support. I don't know if I'd like support it, but
Okay,
like
then you don't support it.
I wouldn't
Then you're a
like
bigot. You
I
don't
wouldn't
support
like fight.
LGBTQ
I wouldn't like
love.
fight against it or something. Like if they want to get married, like I honestly don't care. I mean,
You
if
don't
they,
support it.
that's yeah. I mean, if you're not a Christian, you don't have to do what the Bible says, right? Because you're not a Christian. So
I didn't have a lot of choice in the matter, son. My
yeah, but
penis was cut for me.
really, dude,
Really, dude.
this is like daddy issues.
This is like your whole fucking culture and you're perpetuating it and I want it to die
Why? Because if you read,
because it's bad.
but not all bad. Like
It's
and
mostly bad and it's
well,
not good and
how
it needs
about
to go away.
what about when we ended slavery?
What about you didn't do anything? What about your
Well,
imaginary friend
Christians. I'm
Jesus?
saying Christians
What about
ended
your
slavery.
imaginary friend Jesus?
Well, just
What about
listen.
you
Hear
don't
me out.
understand
Just
that
hear
there's
me out,
multiple
man.
gods?
Just relax. Hear me out. What about when Christians ended slavery? Wasn't that good?
And so my idea of God is
You're not
all
listening
God.
to me.
God is everything.
Okay.
Hey, what's
Welcome.
up, buddy?
Hey, neighbor.
I just wanted to tell you that you are right on all counts
All right.
on this prompt.
Well, thank you. I guess.
I'm just saying I agree. Yes, Christianity is objectively proven. Atheism is irrational. It's just Satanism with extra denial. Slavery in wait, no. Oh, I don't know about actually. I don't know what the hell. That's over my pay grade. Abortion is definitely child sacrifice. That's definite.
Yeah, I think we should
It's
just.
part of
It's
the
like,
Satanism.
yeah, they call it abortion to like feel better about their guilt, so it doesn't seem like so horrible or something.
Yeah,
It's just
but it's
medicine.
the most brutal and disgusting crime a person can commit.
Oh yeah, and that people. It's weird that why have humans always been sacrificing humans? Like, why do we do that? Like, you look at history; it's been happening forever. Like, what's wrong with humans? Like, it's so weird.
Well, I think what it is there are these gods, lowercase g, that exist here that demand it. And
Or like
once
demons.
Jesus Christ yeah. So once Jesus Christ made the ultimate sacrifice, we never had to do that anymore. But we still have people that are serving these demons because they're not serving Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I believe that. I think there's good evidence. So the problem is like there's a lot of fake evidence of demons and ghosts. Well, I think ghosts are demons. I mean, some people call it ghosts, but it's like the same poltergeist phenomena. I would ascribe to
Yeah.
like the demonic forces, and it is there is valid evidence of that. It's just unfortunate that a lot of it, like all these ghost TV shows, are just so dumb. It really
Well,
bothers
I
me.
did the experiment myself, like an idiot, playing with a Ouija board,
Oh yeah,
and
when
I
you were
was
younger.
immediately. This was after my first was born. I
You
drew it
were
on
an
a piece of
adult playing with a Ouija board, really? I did that.
science. Listen,
You're thinking like a science. I remember. I think that's something like kids do, but like,
no, I wasn't playing with it. I was testing it because I was seeing all these videos of people on the internet, and I'm like, "This
yeah.
look, is this real?" It was starting to freak me out late at night. You know what I mean? I'm like, I gotta prove this is bullshit. You know what I mean?
Okay, I
So I
got
did
you.
it.
All right.
I was immediately oppressed by demons, dude. I was way.
Seriously.
I'd have scratches all over my back. I'd wake up I swear to you, screaming in pain. I'd walk into the room and like toys would start going off. And then I'd look and they wouldn't have batteries. And there would be ectoplasm dripping from the walls. My kid would
Crazy.
see things on my shoulder and just start freaking out like she saw a monster. I'm telling you, it was endless. I can't even list all of the things that happened. And so I like didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my God, how do I deal with this? So I looked up everything I could on the internet, and all I could find was that, yes, it's demons oppressing me. And I had to read some stuff from the Bible, and then I got rid of them. But yeah, man, that's some real shit.
So did you become a
Don't mess
Christian
with
after
Ouija
that, or
boards.
were you a Christian before that, or did that convince you to be a Christian? The experience.
I was raised Roman Catholic. I was raised Roman Catholic. When I was 10, I became an atheist, and then I actually got into Satanism in high school, and I was a total horrible person, just the worst of the worst. And then, as far as for myself, as far as I view myself in my life. So when my kid was born, like I got hit with a bolt of lightning from God, and he told me, no, this is real. You got this purpose. This is who you are. So yeah, at that point, I was a believer again. But man, oh man, when this happened, it was like I really need to get right with God. You know?
Yeah. Judgment Day comes like a thief in the night, they say. So. Well,
But yeah,
I don't really
you're
talk.
doing a good thing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've had
All right, I'll
some.
let you tear some of these people apart if you want.
Okay, sounds good. I don't really talk about like I've had sleep paralysis, and I've seen like shadow people during sleep paralysis, but I don't usually like talk about that because I try to keep it more about like debate and proof rather than because like that's just anecdotal. So see, I understand where the difference between anecdotal eyewitness testimony and corroborated eyewitness testimony. I can't corroborate any evidence for that. So that's a big mistake people make in evidence. They think all eyewitness testimony is anecdotal, but that's not the case. If there's like 3 or 4 people that witness something, that's not anecdotal because that's now corroborated. And it doesn't matter if they get some details incorrect because that's typical. So, people don't understand evidence. And so what they try to do is they try to like, when they debate, they come to this debate and it's like they have no concept of evidence. And then they try to like narrow arbitrarily like what is and what isn't accepted evidence to like just arbitrarily reject any evidence that goes against their position. How old am I? I'm 43. Religion is a scam. Tax the church. It is entertainment for the poorly educated. Oh man, you're so brave to say that. Brave and strong. Yeah, I'm 43. I'm old. My life's over. I failed. So I'm like, by the standards of the world, I'm like the biggest loser ever. So I might as well become a Christian, right? The last shall be first. The meek inherit the earth. I'm meek as hell, man. The fools get to shame the wise. I'm a fool. So I like that song. Oh God is a blank. Oh man. Hebrews 11:16. Well, if you think this is rage bait, then I guess the truth must really upset you. That's understandable. The truth, the people don't like the truth. I get it. It's just, is it like a psychological thing? Human nature? See, even like Plato says that. You know why people hate the truth? It's probably because people aren't very cool, and they don't like to hear about how uncool they are. They want to sit in a room where everyone's like, "You're so great. I like everything about you. Never change." Mm-mm-mm. Um, what was I looking at again? Hebrews 11:6. And without faith it is impossible to please him, for he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who seek him. God is a rewarder to those who seek him. Rewarder to those who seek him. And George Orwell says the same thing. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. So think of all the lies in our society today due to scientific propaganda techniques. Like how Trump has exposed the fake news, and Joe Rogan with the horse medicine. And this is in the Bible as well. Most people rejected his message. They hated Jesus because he told them the truth. That's why they crucified him. So in this world, if you tell the truth, people will persecute you and people will crucify you. So if you're not being persecuted and you're not being crucified, guess what? You're not doing. So that's why they say, I have a persecution complex. You have a persecution complex. Well, it seems to me if there's two sides, two groups of people, and both groups of people want you to join their group, you should run away because, like, screw them. And, like, if both groups hate you, you're doing something right. Welcome, neighbor.
Hello.
What would you like to say? You're an adult, right?
In my yeah, I'm 19 years old.
Okay.
Is it okay for me to speak up?
Yeah.
For my opinion, a religion is just a man-made invention used for manipulating people. In historical cases, religion uses, according to Salem witch trials, they use the religion to get rid of what they believe as witches.
Well, that's
To
actually, I've done some research into that, and so what was going on there was like political, where they wanted people's land, and so like I want your land, right? You don't sell your land, so what I do is I accuse you of being a witch, and then I take your land. That's what was happening in Salem. So it was really like
yeah,
political.
it's already considered as manipulation.
It's
They
kind of
use
like what the same thing as what Putin's doing in Ukraine. So it doesn't have to be religious based, right? That was about land.
and yet they still uses the religion, for manipulating people.
That's true, but today they use science to manipulate people because science is like advanced. They study
I am
humans.
talking historically.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
talking
current.
history.
Yeah, but if we're gonna say like something's not true because it's used to manipulate people, then science isn't
Because
true.
it is man-made invention used
Yeah,
to manipulate people.
that's
Do
true
you
of
get my point?
science as, but that's don't you understand? Like your critique would make science false because science is a man-made thing used to manipulate people.
Science is religion is not the same. Science is
That's
studied,
true.
and
But they're
religion
both man-made and they're both
without
used to manipulate.
evidence.
But they're both man-made and they're both used to manipulate people.
Science has studies.
And,
They are
and they're
made up
used
of
to manipulate people.
intelligent people.
Yes, and they study human beings and they use that information to manipulate human beings.
It is fine unless you believe that a man created a book which says that religion is truth, abortion is murder, blah 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 blah. While science is made up of intelligent people who give their life just to study and prove, and it a science has an evidence. While your religion has no evidence or proof that your God literally exists. That is the difference between science and religion. If you get my point, science
Um,
is not made to manipulate people. It has before science confirmed it. It goes in a lot of studies before it was confirmed. While your
there,
religion is just made up, they
there's
just
a
made it up because they want to control people.
science
You
hurts
get
people in reality though more than religion. There's a scientist named Thomas Migley Jr. and he put lead in gasoline as an additive, and that led to like I think millions of people unaliving, and it like lowered the whole IQ of the planet. That was because of science. So when did religion like do something like that? It never did that.
Can you repeat? I didn't hear it.
Well, there's a scientist who put this additive lead in gasoline, and it caused a lot of problems. Like it caused cognitive impairment, where it like lowered the IQ of the whole planet, and it like unalived millions of people. And now it's banned. But that's a scientist who did that.
So scientists make people unalive themselves.
Well,
So
I mean, a scientist made a nuclear bomb. A nuclear bomb, that's bad. So science is bad, and they hurt people with they create all the weapons that
So
hurt
you're
that
telling that
hurts us.
science is bad because they created weapon,
Yeah,
correct?
and then those weapons are used to oppress people, and it's cruel and mean. So we should stop doing science.
Isn't your religion used weapons?
Um, well, religion doesn't create weapons, right? Religion it
Yes,
just like tells us
they don't
about
create
God and
weapons
stuff.
because they uses it.
Science, we get weapons from science, so we should stop science because it's like we got enough weapons, Like they're just gonna keep making more and more weapons, and it's gonna be like bad news, dude. We should actually go after science first, and then we'll think about all the bad things religion does. Because religion doesn't make any weapons.
Yo, bro, are you rage baiting? What is this?
If you think it's rage bait, then the truth must trigger you, I guess.
Okay. So, on your argument about how weapons are scientific, that means that science is bad. So, is creating children bad? Because that's scientific.
I think so. Yeah.
So, if creating children is bad, then how is abortion bad?
Because you're playing God. You're like deciding who lives and who dies.
So then, wait, no, that's just backwards then.
What?
Because if creating children is science, right? Or do we agree with that?
What are you talking about? Like IVF?
Okay. And then if abortion is killing the child that you created using science, then how is that going against God if creating the child in the first place is scientific?
Because even in IVF, you're sacrificing someone so you can like have a child. That's
How could you sacrifice someone? A fetus is not a human.
according to
It
biology.
is not a human. It is not a
According
child.
to biology.
Don't
it
accord
is.
your statements off of biology if you don't agree in biology.
Well, you're the one that doesn't. If you're saying a fetus isn't a human, you're the one that's.
I never said that.
Well, that's what.
I see
science
that
said.
fetus is not a human. They can
Okay,
breathe.
well that would
can-
be going
they can eat
against
on their own.
biology.
They
So
can
now
breathe
you're
on
being
their own.
unscientific. Okay.
No.
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 That's unscientific.
Because no one
According
said
to
that.
biology, a fetus.
But
is
no
a
one said
human.
that.
Why are you guys gaslighting me? Like what?
Can you give us a study that says that biologically speaking that
No,
a
I'm not going to
fetus
give you a
is a
study.
human?
Everyone knows that in biology,
You
a
just
fetus
go to
is.
your conclusion in your
Do you
mind
need
and
to
saying
study
that
that the sky is blue? Do you need to
The
study
sky
that 1
is
plus 1?
blue.
Here, I'll link a study that 1 plus 1 equals 2.
I mean, there had to have been a study at some point for that.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Am I not?
Yeah, I'll link you the study that the peer-reviewed study that 1 plus 1 equals 2. Right after the.
You don't need
to.
to. I mean, someone had to make the math for that. I mean, just because you can't find on the internet, it's common knowledge at this point. There's been a study for everything at some point. You had to have studied something for.
Have they studied studies?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that can be studied.
Yeah. Welcome, neighbor.
Hi.
Hello. You're an adult. Everyone has to be 18, by the way. If you're not 18, leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, May 6, 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
2007. If you're, yeah,
you'd be like just 18. Yeah,
you
right.
can't do that.
yeah, if you turned 18 this
You-
year
you-
or this month.
You like just turned 8. Okay, whatever.
Dude, yeah, I've been waiting for this. I love watching these. These are fun.
What would you like to say, neighbor?
I just want you to elaborate on the abortion as child sacrifice.
You're just sacrificing one thing, a preborn baby, for another thing, like women's right to choose whether or not to be pregnant. Which I apparently have to be super specific.
But aren't you also sacrificing the woman's well-being if you're not aborting the child?
You sacrifice a lot of things when
you
giving
are.
birth.
Sure.
You know, everything's a sacrifice in life.
Right.
Yep.
So what's the
But
difference?
this is
between a
not everything is a
casual
human
sacrifice in life.
Not
then?
everything is a human sacrifice. So this
Yes,
would
it
be
is.
This would.
Yeah, when you have a kid, it kind of is.
No one- Well, we're saying like a
is
human
not a
sacrifice.
human.
We're saying you're unaliving.
All right, so we can all believe in sources, right? So we can all believe in reality, what's in front of us, because that we can observe that physically. However, if we cannot observe the source, we may think or we may believe that there is a source, but we might not be able to discern what that source is because we cannot observe it. Through belief, we can say that source is this, but we cannot all collectively observe the source because there isn't a way to, well, currently at least. That's why I'm saying you cannot use, well, there has to be a start for everything as basis to prove Christianity, because then that basis could be true for all religion.
So the only
Couldn't
way we can know the source of existence is if the source of existence had the properties of Jesus. If the source of existence was a personal creator who reveals himself in history and creation, the attribute set that would be necessary to be the source of existence, then we can know the source of existence. And that's what we have in Christianity. So my worldview allows for me to know the source of existence. Yours
But
does
that's
not.
a
No,
Which
it allows for you to
means,
think. Wait, it
which
allows.
means when you believe anything exists or anything is real, you have to borrow from my worldview.
No, P-Mars. It allows
sorry for
for you to
my
wait. It allows for you to think you know the source of existence.
Can God not verify himself on his own divine authority? Is that what you're saying?
He could, but we haven't seen that yet.
According to what you? So you're saying the Bible's not the divine word of God? Then what is the divine word of God?
I don't think there is a divine word of God.
Well, then what's the authority? What authority would you have?
But that
What do you mean-
authority that
what do you mean, what authority would I
currently
have?
I say the Bible is the authority. You're saying no, the
But then
Bible's
I
not the
could-
authority.
I
So
could
then
then
what
say
is
that
the
Islam is
authority?
the authority.
Are you the authority?
Then yes,
No.
that's my point. We do
No.
not know. You're
Wait,
using
Okay, well then
your
if you don't
personal-
know, you're not in a position to challenge mine.
then you're using.
Hold
So
on,
then
P-Mars.
that
Yes,
means
I can challenge you because
Oh my
you're
God,
trying
Ty.
to.
you can't
You're
challenge
trying-
me. I speak with the divine
I can.
authority on what authority?
Your authority is a personal truth. It is a personal truth. It is a belief. Hence, that authority.
I'm making an
because it is a-
argument. You're using
it's a-
logic. You're using logic, right?
Yes, because
Where
I'm
did that
using
logic come? That logic
Because
came
I'm
from
using-
Jesus.
No, logic is a tool.
But that is a personal truth. Because I am using logic, I can impose that logic on everybody else because you can't.
With what? Can
argue
your mind
against
impose?
logic.
Your mind makes logic real? Are you kidding me? You really believe that?
That's not the point I was making.
Oh, then what makes
I'm
logic
saying,
real?
we can.
What makes logic real?
Wait, Ty, hold on. You gave an example about a tree, right?
Jesus.
That Jesus ordained the tree to be there or something. Did Jesus want the tree to be there?
Did Jesus want the I don't know.
You don't know.
No, it's a weird question.
So
So,
you
anyways, you're
wait,
using
so you don't know
logic.
what
I want to
you don't know
know.
what Jesus
Stop.
wants.
Stop. You knuckleheads are using logic. As far as I can tell, you're using my God's logic. Where did your logic come from?
Wait, why is it your God's logic?
Our logic
because
came
Jesus has the
from what is
necessary stop.
observable around
Stop.
us.
Jesus has the necessary attribute set to make logic real. If Jesus doesn't make logic real, then what does?
I know he didn't. The spaghetti monster did.
Okay, thanks for coming. What makes
Any
logic
other
real?
belief, any other belief system.
Thanks for coming. Welcome.
Okay. Is there? Are we two theists in here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I usually just do one-on-ones.
Okay. Wait. You're atheist or theist?
I'm a theist.
Oh, I'm a theist too. So this is not going to be a very interesting conversation.
True.
But to the previous conversation that was happening just now, my point would be, I think it's a kind of circular reasoning to like try and tell an atheist that you're borrowing from their worldview because they're never going to believe that. That's not necessarily maybe the best point of attack.
You don't know what you're talking about because God is a paradigm through which we would interpret evidence. So presenting evidence is really dumb, and you shouldn't do that. And you should make the transcendental argument for God, like I was doing, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay.
Okay. Oh well, that's a very kind way of putting it, my Christian friend.
Read a book. Read a book, dummy.
Yeah, I've read a couple, man.
Read more. You're dumb.
Okay, so that's not exactly a very Christian way of approaching this
isn't it?
conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings?
No, not necessarily. I just think you're
Oh,
proving to the people watching that this is like not exactly somebody who they should be taking seriously.
great,
That's all I'm saying.
great. Yes, you're
May I
perfect.
suggest an
Your poop
alternative
doesn't
approach that
smell.
might work,
Yeah,
actually?
your poop doesn't smell. Thanks for your unsolicited advice from this person who doesn't read. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so great.
What's
So
your evidence
glad
that
I
I don't
met you
read?
today. Never change.
Okay, what's your evidence that your theism's correct then? Your approach is correct.
Because God isn't just like a regular fact. You can't prove God as like a contingent fact because God's the necessary being. So
Hmm.
God makes facts true.
Okay,
So when
but can
if
you
they're going to say
understand?
God doesn't make facts true, then it's like, okay, well, what makes a fact a fact that's
No,
not
I
God?
agree
And they
with
don't
you.
have anything.
But I'm already a theist. Like you're trying to talk to non-theists about a theological worldview that they don't subscribe to. How are you supposed to convince them of that if they don't believe it, dude?
But you do a comparison of paradigms where you demonstrate that their paradigm is absurd and only the
Yes, but
Christian paradigm.
you do that using their own paradigm. So what I'm saying is
Yeah,
like
that's what
you
I
could
did. So they're
yeah, but
using
like
logic, right? So under their own paradigm, how does logic, like what grounds logic? What makes
I
logic real?
100% I 100% agree with you. So what I would say is like I would ask them like what is it that you believe and why do you believe it? And then when they explain it to you, then you can then point out how it's flawed. So I don't need to evoke God to make this true. Like you can just say like, okay, so you believe then everything came from the Big Bang, which is nothing, and then evolution created everything, which
Okay.
is also creating
You
everything
you
from
you
nothing.
are terrible at this. You need to read more. I could recommend some books to you. You're just really you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know like why you keep trying to
Brother,
educate me.
talking down
Can
to
you
me when I'm
stop?
on your team when
I
on your
don't
team. I'm not
care.
trying to
I do
educate
not
you. I'm trying to
care. I do not care. I do not care. I've read more than you. I know more about this subject than you. Okay? So I
cool.
could give
And
you
my shit
advice.
doesn't stink,
I
dude.
don't need listen. I don't need any advice from you. Okay?
I wasn't trying to give you advice. I was actually trying
You
to
are
create a
trying to give
constructive
me
dialogue.
advice. You're a
No, I'm not.
liar. You're giving me
I'm
you're giving me unsolicited advice. I didn't
my,
ask
br-
for you to how to prove
my
God,
brother
did
in
I?
Christ. I'm trying to talk to the chat as well,
And
so they
I'm
can maybe
trying to
get
talk
something
to
from the
you. I'm
conversation.
trying to tell you you're low information. You don't know what you're talking about. I could help you with books to read so you don't make a fool out of yourself. Or
Okay,
you could
okay,
continue
Dad,
embarrassing
please
you can
educate me.
continue
Please educate me.
embarrassing
Show me.
God.
Okay, I
Go
would
ahead
love
and
to.
continue embarrassing God. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm embarrassing my God. Okay, I would like you to educate me
What
then,
is
sir.
your
Please,
God? Are you a
please.
Christian?
I am a Christian, yes.
Great.
Okay, so can you please educate me then? I would like to learn from you,
I'm
seeing as
telling
you're so
you.
much
I'm
more,
telling you.
seeing as you're
If
so much more intellectually in depth
yes,
than
yes.
I am.
The
Okay,
the
so
issue is
let's educate me, like because I'm stupid clearly, so I need your help. So can you please educate me? Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay. Here's the
Hmm.
deal. The issue
Yep.
is paradigms or frameworks through which we interpret evidence. I can't just
Hmm.
if you're a naturalist, they don't believe in anything supernatural. So before they even look at evidence, they've already decided there's a natural explanation for all evidence. So you can
Okay.
sit there and throw evidences at them endlessly, and it doesn't matter because they're going to interpret evidence through their stupid naturalistic paradigm. So what we got to do is compare your naturalistic framework or paradigm to my Christian framework or paradigm and see which one can make knowledge real, can account for moral absolutes, or can explain the uniformity of nature. That's how you
Yeah,
prove God.
I would agree with all of that, but forcefully telling an atheist that you have to accept the theist paradigm is like not going to change their mind. It's simply not
You
going to
don't
work.
understand. They already accept it. So they already believe in Jesus. I don't have to convince them that Jesus, it's just, they're in self denial. They're suppressing the truth and unrighteousness. So it's just, all I have to do is make them aware that they're in denial. It's not a matter of convince. God is obvious.
You know,
So
see,
that's
I
it.
was an atheist, and and I have moved to theism, and like the people who espouse your kind of like rhetoric, like I just can't subscribe to it. I just can't, like,
Well,
I
good
simply
for
cannot.
you. I don't care. Go do you. You make your own life. I'm doing me, okay? I'm not interested in learning from you.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna pray for you, brother. All right, have a good night.
Great. Good for you. Oh, passive aggressive. Nice.
So, like, P. Mars, what you're saying is that, look, when you provide data, it doesn't matter when you do that to a naturalist because they're always going to interpret it from the naturalistic worldview. So it'll never like be enough to like prove God or another worldview. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I can never understand the words you say because you talk so weird. I thought I articulated myself well enough. I don't know. Did I not?
Well, are you just saying that like all data is adjudicated in the light of a theory?
Can you talk like a normal person? I can never understand you.
Okay. Are you just giving the Duhem Quine thesis that all observations?
Can you speak English?
I am.
I can't understand you.
Are you just saying that all observations are theory related?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, then, like, I agree with that, but don't you think that like people can look at two different theories and then compare them?
Theories. I wouldn't really say a worldview is a theory.
Doesn't matter. Fine, worldviews.
Compare them. I would say we would do an internal critique, right? I would assume your metaphysical assumptions and see if like they can account for like, logic, uniformity of nature, or moral absolutes. And then I'd invite you to stand on my metaphysical assumptions, and I'd show you how mine can account for logic, moral absolutes, and uniformity of nature.
Yeah, or you could just like look at the data and see which theory better explains it or better accommodates it or predicts the data.
No, we're not looking at data. You don't understand. There's no data to look at.
Well, all I mean by data is just like what minds are, like the trees, like the way the universe is.
I don't know. Okay, I'm not really understanding what I just struggle to understand anything you say.
Well, it's really simple. I'll explain it to you. I'm not like steamrolling you or anything. By data, I just mean the things that need to be explained, like morality, minds, trees, like diversity of life. Right? Continents. That's all I mean by data. Just like the stuff that the theory or the worldview explains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you agree that you can do the comparison, then like why when that other guest came up and like said like, look, these are the reasons why I came in late, believe in God, right? And you were like, no, because they're just going to interpret it within their worldview. Well, it sounds like you kind of just contradict yourself because you can like take the data, like where the universe came from, and then stick it into each worldview and then see which one does a better job explaining it. Right?
Then that would be addressing the worldview issue. But if you just look at data and you ignore the worldview issue, that doesn't go anywhere.
Well, obviously
that's what evidentialism does. They don't address the framework. They just try to look at
of course
data,
they do.
And that doesn't no, they
What
don't.
do you think atheism versus theism is? It's a battle of worldviews. They try to explain.
Yeah,
like,
but evidentialism
doesn't
doesn't talk about.
if you don't have a God.
Evidentialism doesn't address the worldviews. It just tries to like look at evidences.
Well, okay, they look at the evidence and say, like, look, the God worldview or the God theory better explains the data. That's why it's evidence. That's why it increases the likelihood.
That doesn't work.
Okay, but you kind of just contradicted yourself because it sounded like you signed on to the idea that you can do the internal critique and see which one stands up the best. That's just what the evidentialist is doing when they provide data.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're just never gonna understand tag.
I do. This is
do.
I think this is what the guy was objecting to because Precept like just kind of avoids the thing that you think we should be doing and just like says, well, my worldview.
The issue is brute facts versus a ultimate foundation and a rational, self-explanatory, necessary being.
That's like kind of tangential, but we can talk about that. What do you think?
It's not tangential. It's actually it's directly the heart of the issue.
Well, it is when we talk about the actual concept. I was having like a meta talk about like a worldview discussion, but we can talk about the details. What do you think a brute fact is?
It's just a fact with no further context.
Okay, so like, would you say you wouldn't say that like God would be a brute fact because he's necessary, right?
Because he explains himself. He's self-explanatory.
Well, what does that mean?
It means he's ultimate reality.
Okay, he's ultimate reality. And ultimate reality, is that just like some kind of base substance that doesn't depend on anything else?
It explains everything. What is necessary, what is contingent, what is, what can, what cannot be.
Well,
possible.
I wouldn't say that a brute fact is something, I mean, like a brute fact wouldn't be a brute fact if it explains everything, because you could have something that's like a contingent first cause that explains everything after it, right? But doesn't have an explanation for itself. It would still be brute.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so the issue is there'd be brute facts or Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm not sure you understand what a brute fact is. So like,
okay. Well, I don't care. Okay,
you don't care.
Do you want to deal with the argument or not?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to deal with the claim you made, and I'm trying to understand what you mean
Okay,
by
so
brute
brute
facts.
facts are gonna. It doesn't matter. It's just a fact with no context. It's not that complicated.
Okay, so
So, like, imagine this. I say, the thing. Do you remember? I always say this thing about the horse runs away. It's bad. The horse comes back with more horses. Now it's good.
no, I don't know that. I don't follow that. Sorry.
Yeah. So like the guy's on a farm. His horse runs away. Everyone says that's bad.
Uh-huh.
Well, then the week later it comes back and it's got 5 wild horses that it found. So now you got more horses, and then everyone goes, "That's good." But then your son's like riding one of the horses, falls off, breaks his leg. Everyone goes, "That's bad." But then there's a war the next day. He doesn't have to go to war because he broke his leg. That's good. So the context, you can't really know what's good and bad because you lack the context, right? When there's new context, it shifts what you think was right and wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I just think that's what good is. I think good is contextual. I'm a particularist.
Brute facts have no context, right? So it's like, who's got the right brute facts? So that just ends in like global skepticism.
Okay, so what's the context that God brings to bear?
God is the ultimate context, the final reference point and predication.
So by that, do you just mean the first cause or something?
No, by that I mean he's ultimate reality, the single unifying principle that dictates what is, what can, what cannot be, what's possible, impossible, what's necessary, what's contingent.
Okay, so like, what if an atheist has like a first cause worldview that set everything into motion? If that first cause thing goes away, everything else falls apart. Would that be a brute fact?
Yeah, because atheists would try to reason without reference to Jesus. Their system's gonna just bottom out in brute facts.
Oh, so do you just mean by brute fact, you just mean a worldview without Jesus?
No, without ultimate context.
Well, look, I'm trying to see.
You could have an ultimate that's not Jesus, but then what is it?
Okay, well, look, I'm asking you a question. So I got this first cause thing. It causes all the universes. If it goes away, the universes fall apart. I'm asking you what makes that a brute fact, but God, not a brute fact.
Because it's just arbitrary, right? You're just like, what is this? Where are you getting this from?
I'm asking you about the concept of brute fact.
There's no what context is there to like validate that?
That's an epistemic issue. I'm asking you what you mean by brute fact.
Oh my God.
Like, you're not really giving me like a definition here, man.
Okay. Well, I don't want to play games, so.
Well, you just don't want to like explain what you mean. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, what's the next?
I just want to play definition games. Welcome, neighbor.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm from Australia.
Nice. I used to live in New Zealand, and we thought you guys were lame.
Oh, no. I like New Zealanders.
Yeah.
I like daggy Australians. Yeah.
You don't think they're a bunch of sheep fornicators?
Actually, there's more sheep on this continent, so maybe we're the fornicators.
That's a fair point. What'd you like to say?
I guess, like this, can I just pick a point? If I was to, it'd be the second point. Atheism is irrational.
Mm-hmm.
I think that atheism is based on logic and rational thinking.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people believe. But I think if we actually analyze it, it leads to like, it makes logic impossible. It makes knowledge impossible, science impossible, because I believe like God is necessary for these things. Like you'd have to say that like your human reasoning is self-validating to be an atheist. And I think that's irrational.
Well, I would say that atheism is just the rejection of any claim made on the base of faith or belief. So it's atheism is the worldview that like you use a scientific method to determine what's going on in the world, and then you don't accept anything that requires you to make like a faith, like accept a statement of faith or a statement of belief.
But you couldn't consistently do that, because to do the scientific method, you have to like have faith in like something called the principle of the uniformity of nature, which is like a fancy way to say that there's like order and patterns that like when you burn your hand on a hot stove, you go, well, in the future, I'll burn my hand on the hot stove. But you never like observe the future. So that's an invalid move.
Well, no, it's a prediction. It's based on so that's also part of the scientific process. You know what's happened in the past, and you know what you can observe that's coming up, and you make a prediction.
Yeah, but
when it comes to
you're making a faith-based move when you do that, because you don't
that's not faith.
observe.
No,
It is. It is.
I would argue that it's not.
But I don't understand how you're just denying like what.
No, I can help you with that. Like I can debate you with that.
Are you saying that I'm wrong about the principle of the uniformity of nature? Because I've done research into this. I read about this, so like I know what I'm talking about.
I've never heard of that concept, but I know that that because obviously I'm just a person on TikTok. Right? But when it comes to, you said that if you predict what's happening in the future, that's basically the same as having faith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's based on because it's based on the principle of the uniformity of nature, and there's no empirical evidence for that principle, and there's no rational proof for that principle.
So, is there any?
Do you accept that principle on faith?
And says, believe that, or tries to tell me or teach me that there was someone who, or a being that created the universe, and a being that is in 3 parts and sent part of themselves down to the earth to be incarnate, and then that person died for the benefit of humanity, all of that kind of stuff, right? That there's no proof, there's no evidence of that. So that's not the same as making a prediction. So that's faith. So believing that happens, and that, and even building on that person who came down and incarnate, promised us that there was a heaven.
It's not proof.
That's saying, please just believe that without any proof. But we don't have any prior evidence that would ever exist. But when we make predictions, that's based on past things that have happened.
But you're using your standards from a Christian perspective, like Jesus.
No.
Yes. From a Christian perspective, Jesus is the source of truth.
Why?
Why? Because we believe that God is a person.
There you go. You said it. You just said it then. You believe. You didn't give a reason why you think that.
Right. So I'm trying to.
Okay, yeah.
We believe that God is a person, that he's the source of existence, truth, everything. And he reveals himself in creation and enters into human history as a person, Jesus. And that's the only way we could know the source of truth. And so to deny that, you're denying the only possible way that we could know truth. And that, I think, is absurd. So I would say, due to the impossibility of the contrary, because you can't deny the only possible way to know truth, then Jesus must be the truth.
No. You just presuppose that a God coming and being presenting themselves in human form is is what truth is based around.
Well, then, if Jesus isn't the truth, then how would we know truth?
Because truth is a subjective experience.
Well, there you go. So now, if truth is just subjective, then I'll just subjectively say Jesus is the absolute truth. There you go.
And that's called delusion.
But how do you
respectfully?
Okay, so you think there's a difference between delusion and reality?
There's really no such thing as reality.
Okay, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, you can.
There's no such thing as reality. Okay.
Hello?
Oh boy. There's no such thing as reality. Okay. Welcome, neighbor.
What's up? Yeah. Why do you believe Jesus rose from the dead?
Because I believe there is a such thing as reality, and if you deny Jesus rose from the dead, then there is no reality. Everything's a fantasy because you're denying the source of existence, the source of reality.
So if I believed in God but not Jesus rising from the dead, what would be the issue?
The issue is that Jesus is God, and so you'd be not denying.
Right, I know you say that, but I'm saying I believe in God.
You would be denying the true God. You'd be believing in a false God.
Okay, why would I be believing in a false God, not a true God?
Because the true God rose from the dead is Jesus.
I mean, okay, that's obviously circular, right? Like,
Well, yeah.
okay. I mean, do you have a reason for why you believe that Jesus is the true God? All right, I believe in God. Okay, I'm just a theist.
Yes,
You were-
because Jesus is the only God with the perfect attribute set that's been revealed, and any denial of Jesus will entail like a contradiction, where you'll deny one or more of the necessary attributes of Jesus that would be like necessary for logic or science.
Yeah, so I believe that there is a God and he grounds logic and science and everything. But I don't believe he revealed himself in Jesus. What's the issue? Where's the contradiction?
Where's your revelation?
There's no revelation. What do you mean?
Okay, well, if you have no objective revelation, then you don't. You have nothing. That's knowledge.
So wait. So let's say right now I write a book and I say this is my revelation. Would that solve your issue?
No, because that's a personal revelation. We need an objective source of revelation.
Wait. How do you know your source is not objective? What do you mean? What's the difference?
The Bible is an objective source of revelation.
Why do you believe that? Look, we both agree.
It's not just me writing a book. I didn't write the Bible, right? The Bible's existed for a long time.
Yeah. So what if it's old? You agree a bunch of.
So what if it's old? So it has historical explanatory power. That's what's so old.
Oh, wait, now we're getting to the history. All right, so are you doing history? Because we can. That's my whole point. Do you actually have a historical case to make for why Jesus rose from the dead, or are you just appealing to some other facts? I don't know, something about God.
I'm making a transcendental argument, which would include.
And the transcendental arguments for theism, not Jesus.
It would include the history of the church as like a tangible thing I would appeal to as to why the Christian worldview is true, because the Christian worldview has historical explanatory power, and that it has a God that's revealed himself in human history.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I on the contrary, I think he has weak historical explanatory power.
Yeah. But if your God hasn't revealed himself in human history, then how, like, you don't have an objective source of revelation.
Okay, so what?
So then I can just dismiss because your worldview would be it would entail global skepticism, which means
why would it entail global skepticism?
Because there's no objective revelation.
Okay. Where in the Bible does it say I can trust my senses? Where in the Bible? Give me the verse that says I can trust my senses.
I mean, I could, but I'd rather not.
Okay. This is just the book, the Bible. All right, is a mix of theological and historical stuff. It has nothing to do with like skepticism. So I don't know why we're even pretending to like do this. Okay, so
it's the defeater. The Bible is the defeater for skepticism.
Yeah, how? I don't get it.
Because ultimate reality, God, is a person that reveals himself. So truth is a person, Jesus Christ. If you deny that, then you won't even know what the source of truth is.
Okay, that's just circular. Okay,
it's not circular. It's a transcendental argument.
No, wait, because I already gave you the alternative. I said that I believe there's a God, so he grounds.
Yeah, and I gave you the defeater for that, which you would just glossed over. Yeah, you provided alternative. I defeated that. So you still have to tell me what makes logic real. That's not Jesus. What's absolute your reasoning from?
Well, I just said God. I think there's a God.
Yeah, but and I gave you the defeater. You need
what's a defeater? Sorry,
you need an objective revelation.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Why is that a defeater? What is that?
Because subjective. Because if all you have is personal revelation, that entails global skepticism.
Yeah, how does it entail global skepticism?
Because it's just relative.
Okay, I'm lost. Okay,
you are.
Yeah, I'm very lost. So please explain this to me. Okay.
Personal revelation is not objective.
Okay.
Hence, it's subjective. Hence, no.
I'm not saying personal revelation. I'm not.
Hence, no objective knowledge. No objective truth.
I'm going to try this.
You're sitting here arguing with me as if there is objective knowledge. So you must believe in the Jesus of Scripture because you're contradicting yourself to say otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's obviously the step I'm not understanding because if your claim is
what's the objective?
What do you mean by objective revelation? I need to get clear about your definition so I can prove to you I have objective. I have objective revelation. Go ahead.
No, I'm not doing definition games.
Okay, fine. Since you refuse to do that, I can write a book, right? I can write a book.
You already tried this, and I told you can write a book, and that's personal revelation. I already went over this. Like a dog that returns to his vomit. A fool repeats his folly.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Yeah, busy day.
Yeah.
Cool. So, you're claiming that Christianity is objectively proven?
Yep.
Um, are you happy to elaborate on that point?
Sure. Like, to even prove something, there'd have to be like standards to prove things, and standards are either going to come from like a human mind, and if that's the case, then they're like arbitrary, or the standards are going to come from, they're going to be revealed from the source of truth itself, which is the mind of God. So without the Bible, all of our standards for truth would just be arbitrary.
Okay, so I see. So I guess your whole worldview is stemming on the fact that the Bible is an objective truth, and anything outside that is more subjective and up for interpretation.
Yeah, we need an objective reference point to have objective knowledge
Okay.
of truth, and that's the mind of God. So
And for you, that's the Bible.
sure, if it's not the Bible, then all we have is human minds. So that doesn't do us any good. Because humans are.
I guess the Bible. I mean, for me, I feel like in some of the scripture of the Bible, or at least some of the doctrines, there's logical, contradictions that are kind of hard to surmount. For me, anyway.
Okay.
Can I give an example? And see what you think.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. Does your point of view does it necessarily need to be logically stable? Does it need to have a logical structure to it?
Well, I mean, if you're going to criticize, it's just kind of funny because you want to sit here and criticize the logic of the Bible, yet you're assuming that you have like some logical consistency from your own framework, which doesn't involve the Bible. And I would just love to know how you could possibly, you wouldn't be able to have logic without the Bible, but okay.
Okay, so I see. So the source of everything is the Bible, and anything outside that is.
Well, I mean, you'd have to argue
subjective will.
You'd have to. That's my position. That's your
position. Okay,
I'm like laying my position out. I'm like being upfront.
So
I start
for me,
with Christ.
I guess. Tell me if this is a subjective point of view, which you happily. So my issue is I don't understand how God can be all good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people have that problem.
Yeah. So, were you always a Christian?
No, I became a Christian when I was 37.
Okay. See, that's
I used to be a
interesting.
New Age freakazoid.
Oh right, well. So it took you a while to come to Christianity then?
Yeah, I was lost and searching for truth, and I was in darkness.
So, and now you've been saved by God.
Yeah, now I've been found. Yes.
Yeah,
I see
and you'll
the
go
light.
to heaven once you die, and you've escaped hell and damnation. If you believe in that.
I'll put in a good word for you. I'll say Jesus put him in the less hot part of hell.
Okay, cool. But let's say before you were able to make that decision, you were hit by a bus.
Oh no. Yeah.
Then would you say that was a fair amount of time for you to decide that you could come to the Lord?
Yes, I think God treats us way better than we deserve. Personally, I think we all deserve to go to hell. I don't think any of us deserve what Jesus did for us.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of an upsetting point of view, because then it puts everybody, as awful people, inherently awful, and always will be
my
awful.
view. Yeah, my view is everyone is awful, but some people are humble and some people are arrogant, and that's like the only difference between people.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it becomes sort of like a view on primarily on hatred of people, rather than love of people.
I love people. I don't necessarily like them, but I love them. I want the best for them.
But only if they, subscribe to that particular belief.
No, I want
Outside
the
of
best. I want
that.
the best for people regardless, and I think the best for them is to be like Christian. But I mean,
Yeah.
even if they don't be Christian, I still want the best for them.
An interesting point. Let's say you have an island and a group of people are on this island and they were never ever exposed to Christianity, not through the fault
Yes.
of their own, just Christianity hasn't discovered them or someone hasn't talked to them about Christianity. Then are
Right.
they forever doomed?
I don't believe so. I think,
Ah,
and
so
that's
they would be saved because even though they don't believe in Christianity, just through the goodness of their actions. But
no,
if you're saying
no, I will not say that. I would say that
okay,
there's a verse in the Bible where it talks about like who you did to the least of these, you did to me. So it's like they're like Jesus was like, when I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. And they're like, we didn't see you, Jesus. Where were you? And he goes, to the least of me, you did, or to the least of these, you did for me. So this isn't going to count for someone who has the gospel, but I think there's some like mystery and power in God's grace and love that like when you
okay, so you can
go to
you can find
because
you can find God's
Jesus
grace
is
and love
with
without reading the Bible.
Jesus is with miserable people. Jesus is with the suffering. So on the island, if you go to people who are suffering on the island and you help them, you can encounter Christ and have
Okay, so
faith in Christ.
let's say if they're a community, they've still never heard of Christianity. That's the whole key thing. But they look after and they love
Yeah,
one
that's what
another.
I'm explaining to you. You
Yeah,
can know
yeah.
Christ
So I know,
through-
I'm just trying to get my head around it. So, but in that case, they don't necessarily need to believe in Christianity for them to go to heaven because they're interacting with the Lord
They need to have faith in Christ.
around them.
They need to
But
have
they
faith
can't.
in
They don't know anything about Christ. They know nothing about him. Like this,
Explicit-
Christianity is
explicitly,
never
explicitly they don't. Implicitly they do.
okay. Right through their actions, because that's the only other way they can sort of reconstruct being nice to each other. But that's something they've come up with themselves.
So Christ is with those who are suffering. So when you go to someone suffering and you serve them, then you can know Christ through the
Yeah.
other.
So these
like,
people know Christ through helping each
like
other.
they're made in God. Yes, like you're made in God's image.
Yeah.
So
But
this
they don't-
doesn't. Well, this
what-
wouldn't apply to me because I know the gospel. But like,
No, I know it doesn't apply to you, but it
if-
applies to people around
yeah,
the world that
I could
don't know God.
encounter Christ in you if you're like being miserable and suffering, and then I like help you in some way.
No,
I could
I think
encounter.
if you have this
have
community,
faith
they're
in
not
Christ.
necessarily suffering. They're just being people. They're just helping one another and
All
being
humans
nice to
are
one another.
suffering, dude. All humans are suffering.
Yeah, well, I know it's like just in terms of figuring out life, but they're still managing to enjoy life.
Yeah, but everyone's suffering.
this-
So there's always going to be someone suffering. There's always going to be someone that maybe like.
Yeah, I
needs
mean,
help.
they're helping each other out. They've developed their own system of helping each other, and they know that's important. So, do they know God without, seeing the Bible?
I answered this question. I don't know why. Why do these people like when the question's answered, you just ask the question again? What is up with that?
I don't feel like it's
Is
addressed.
it like a autism thing? Like,
I mean, I'm saying that you have an island. They can't believe in God. They've never heard of him, but yet they still go to heaven.
I answered.
it's not
They can have
Yeah,
faith
so
in
it's-
Christ through their encounter with the other. I answered this very
Yeah,
thoroughly.
cool.
I don't know
But
why you
that
keep
means that-
asking. It's annoying.
That means that Christianity, you don't have to necessarily to believe in Christianity to go to heaven. and
No,
be
you
good.
necessarily have to have faith in Christ, whether you're explicitly or
Yeah, but
implicitly.
they don't know. So
Yes,
it
they
doesn't
have
matter.
implicit faith in Christ. I told you they
Yeah, but
know
not
Christ
to
through-
them. For them, it's just being nice.
Okay, and you're not okay. That's not my answer. You're straw manning me.
No, I'm trying to understand, but it's
You're
saying
made in the
that-
image of God. Who's God? Christ. So I can encounter
Yeah,
Christ.
but
I can know
they don't-
Christ through helping you. Because when you're
They
miserable,
don't
and stuff,
need to know.
you're- and
They
you
don't
just
need to know about Christ to go
okay.
to heaven.
You're really
That's
good
what
luck.
I'm saying. But
Okay,
you
well-
agreed with me.
Yeah, good luck in hell. Why do they do this? Did I not answer the question? It's like I'm always like direct and upfront and answer. You guys notice I'll answer the question. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. I don't do this like run around BS. Do you notice how these guys all notice how when I ask them questions, how I get the run around and the BS? And then even though I directly answer their question, they just repeat the same question. Where do they grow these people? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, the behavior. Oh. I mean, it's like that Christian guy that joined. I was an atheist and now I'm a Christian. And you're not a good Christian and you should do this. And yeah, dude, that guy, it's like I wish they would just stay atheist. Just stay the way you are. Oh my goodness. Embarrassing. Like, think about like how embarrassing like Danny and Ian were for atheism. Like Ian totally. I have that video on my channel. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. It's getting got a good amount of views. Got like 1,000 views, which is good for me. I know that's not a lot, but for me to poop on. Yeah, Danny was just like trying to do this gotcha. It's like you have an opportunity to talk to Jordan Peterson. Sure, he's kind of like a media hack or whatever, and this lame internet dad. But like, I don't know. He just kind of wasted. I think he just like wasted. I guess if you want to go viral, gotcha, clickbait moment. But I mean, is that sustainable? There's no substance there. So I don't know. I think that's lame, but I guess that's the way the world is. It's all about like clickbait, surface level, no substance. That's what people want. So I guess Danny's just giving the people. Maybe Danny's smarter than me. He's giving the people what they want: lack of substance, superficiality, clickbait, gotcha. And then Ian is just like blatantly wrong. Like he's talking about Graham Oppie. Graham Oppie didn't even say what Ian said, and unbelievable, totally embarrassing. Like, I hope these like because like I love that William Lane Craig saw this like Ian talking to Jordan Peterson, and now these like these lame. I don't even call him like a philosopher bro. It's a philosopher fraud. Ian is a philosopher fraud. So it's just great to see an actual philosopher like analyze the dumb crap. They're just because you guys realize that like literally just Google the things like Monkey Boy and Ian. Ask the AI, do philosophers actually agree with this? It'll be like no. Like they get so much stuff wrong like constantly. And then like if anyone gets one little thing wrong, they're all over that person, persecuting them, philosophy shaming them. They make errors in philosophy and logic all the time, like gross, blatant, fundamental 101 error. They're constantly making errors in philosophy. And then anyone they perceive that makes an error that's not a part of their little clique, they want to shame them and embarrass them. Yeah, the cat agrees with me. Cat knows what's up. Cat's like, hell yeah, preach. That's gospel. I think that's what the cat said. Oh, there's the cat. You can kind of see it. Look how big it is. It's my sister's cat. I would never let my cat get that big. That's a big cat. She's a cuddle bug. Oh my gosh. The cats are getting along. My sister should be taking her back soon. Allegedly. I don't know. It's like every time my sister says something though, it's subject to change because she's not the most stable if you make a plan with my sister, you don't count on it. I'm 600. No. I'm on my way though, Tally. Making my way down south. Making my way down south. I should probably take a break. How long have I been going? I can't believe I've been getting so many viewers lately. I've been canceled so hard. Like, Slurms is being a dick to me. No one wants to talk to me. Oh yeah, the abolitionist Christians, they don't want to talk to me. I'm famous. I'm like but I'm getting canceled. Like I always get canceled. I used to do flat earth debates and I got canceled doing that. And I was like way more out of control back then. And I got canceled. Both the sphere earth people canceled me and the flat earth people canceled me. And then so I became a Christian and I started doing the Christian debates. And now it's like the Christians are canceling me and the atheists are canceling me. It's like, oh my gosh. That's it's like the story of my life. People just don't like me, dude. It's like I feel like everyone is like kind of fake and fraudulent to some degree, and when I notice it in people, I have to like say something, and like people hate it, so they don't want to be around me. So I understand. I understand like people. I rub people the wrong way.
I
Welcome.
think you should just be nicer to yourself because people like you, Mars.
You think so? Oh, thanks. Well,
I mean,
again,
I can't stand your positions, but I think as a person, you're hilarious, and I enjoy your lives. So
well, thank
give
you,
yourself a
man.
break.
Okay, thank you, man. I just kind of like I'm getting hit with a lot of cancellations all at once, and it's kind of
I'm sure. Yeah.
it's
Well,
like Darth got mad at me, Slurms got mad at me, then all the abolitionist Christians got. That's like everyone got.
why did Darth get mad at you?
Because I said that it takes courage to tell the truth, and that the atheists fear the truth. He's like, no, they don't fear the truth; they hate the truth. And I'm like, well, they're not. That's not like mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
He goes, does it take courage to say the sky is blue? And I said yes. And then he from his perspective, I was just bullshitting him or something. But I actually think I have a well thought out reason, because I think even if you say like the sky is blue, someone can still like mock you, or it opens you up to criticism. Like, how do you know the sky is blue? And then that could take you down the like the epistemic rabbit. So like to say and make any truth claim, even though sky is blue, doesn't seem like it takes a lot of courage. I think it does take some courage, because you're always opening yourself to being mocked and criticized.
Yeah, you're taking the affirmative stance, and then you're opening yourself up to rebuttal. So,
but I don't know. I guess Darth thought I was trolling him and doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't seem like
maybe
a big
he was
deal.
having a rough day.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can reconcile, because I like Darth, but
Yeah, I would say you're doing fine, P. Mars. You're doing just fine.
Okay, well, thanks.
All right, buddy.
Have a good day. Oh, great. Hello, Pigeon.
You getting canceled, bro?
Yeah, well, it's been going on for the last, like, it started, like, when Tom Rabbit dropped that video, and then the atheists canceled me for being racist, and then the Christians canceled me for being gay, and so it's like, yeah.
I mean, you are racist. But
Okay.
you shouldn't be canceled. You shouldn't be canceled for being gay or not being gay or whatever. I get uncomfortable talking about it because I don't like the way it went down. I don't support it. And there's so many other shitty things about you that I can riff on. I don't need to talk about that. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
true.
and I kind of regret letting Addie go after you. She's had a hard on for you for a minute on that. She's really wanted to pin you down and ask you about the contradiction. And then there's people defending you as not racist. So,
I mean, I don't think I'm racist, because, like, I would marry a black woman. Like, I don't.
yeah,
If,
but
like,
she wouldn't marry you, bro. That, you know.
yeah, but not because I'm racist. That's not why she dumped me.
I know, and I'm being an asshole again. But you're my favorite op, bro. Like, I hate Darth, right? I've kind of made a big show about it. I don't like him. I don't like him in the slightest. Whatever it is you see in
Well,
him.
he doesn't like me very much right now. So
No, I know. But you, I like, and when we have these conversations, I like it. When I shit on you and kick you off the panel, I enjoy that shit too. But yeah,
I enjoy being shit on. So
I can see that. It's kind of weird.
Mm.
God, shut up, God. But yeah, no, I don't know. You're fucking terrible, and I'll stand up to you when you're being terrible. But you're not. I don't think you should be canceled. You're like half my fucking material these days.
Okay, well, that means a lot. Thanks, Pigeon.
Yeah, of course, man.
All right, have a good day, man.
You too, bro.
Like, they're like, who am I gonna hate? What if she leaves? Who am I gonna make fun of? Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Mars?
What's up, man?
Hey, look, I just came across you for the first time, like either yesterday or the day before, and I mean, you seem to be cool. I don't make it a point to go around following believers, but I guess my whole thing was based on the kind of out of pocket stuff you were saying. I couldn't tell if you actually hold to these positions or if this page is just you taking random positions just for the sake of debating them.
Well,
I don't know if this is satire, if you for real, or
Sometimes I don't even know. Okay, sometimes I will say like something out of pocket as a joke, but then also I kind of like have a radical out of the box way of thinking about things. So sometimes I do have like positions that seem like I'm trolling when I'm not actually trolling because I've actually like thought something out. So it's kind of both. I don't know, but it's like it's never like a place of hate because I always want the best for everyone. I don't care about like skin color or like sex or gender or who you are with in the bedroom. That stuff doesn't. That's between you and Jesus or whatever. I don't care. So
Well, I will say this from the couple times I've been listening with panels he's been on. I mean, I don't know the whole backstory of why you getting canceled by everybody, but I've never the couple times I listened, I hadn't encountered where you seem like you trying to be an ass to anybody or anything. I mean, and you pretty funny. That's why I followed you. So
well, thanks, man. Well, in the past, I've used like racial slurs because like I'm a strong. I believe comedy should. I don't like racism, but I like racist jokes. I'll put it like that. So if that makes me a bad person, then I'm a bad person, I guess. But I used to watch the Boondocks, and that shit made me laugh. Like Uncle Ruckus makes me laugh. If that makes me racist, then I guess I'm racist. I don't know. So
hey, I'm black. You good?
Well, that's not good enough for them.
We can take the racist part off the table. He's good.
That's not good enough for them, though. You know, they'll be like, I had one person call me racist, and I was dating a black woman, and I was like, here, talk to my girlfriend, right? And they didn't care. They still thought I'm racist. So it's like you can't win with some people, but anyways. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try to make people laugh, and I also I believe in Jesus too, so I also hopefully I'm a little bit edifying as well. But
I have to come back another day to have that discussion with you.
Right. All right. Oh boy, I'm gonna be in trouble. Okay, man. Well, thanks, man. I think I'm probably end the live here. Got me going for a while. So.
All right. Later, man.
God bless. Or wait, he might not be a Christian. He might be I didn't ask, so maybe he's not a Christian. So I shouldn't say God bless. I kind of thought he was a Christian. I prejudiced him. I thought he was a Christian. Maybe he wasn't. I don't like to say God bless if I don't know you're a Christian because I feel like that's passive aggressive. So I would say I wish you well. That's what I should say. Red stick atheist, right? Definitely not a Christian. Okay, there we go. My bad. I didn't mean to say God bless you. That's passive aggressive bullshit. I don't do that. Welcome. I was just about to leave, man. What are you doing? Say hi. I'm trying to get my BLT.
Go get your BLT, buddy.
All right, man. You should go live.